Hey everybody, welcome to the Forbidden Psalm Adventure. We're back with episode 11 of Regicide. This is Grift Burns. Now, we've arrived in the city. We're hiding and sort of sheltering in the last sort of human living enclave as the horde descends on us. And there's no break in between, no chance to rest and recoup as giant undead skeletal monsters rise up out of the chasms around the city and begin crushing the walls and the buildings with their fists. So we are just scrambling to survive. The Graven Task 5 are in the streets, basically, being just as sort of terrified as the rest of the people in the city as buildings are smashed all around them. So we have to survive 7 turns while this happens during this penultimate adventure, and then we'll face down the horde as the Forgotten King arrives in Grift. So show the table, show the adventure, and we'll get this underway. Alright, so here's our band of scallywags just fighting to survive on the streets of Grift. And Grift itself is about to be smashed to rubble. There's a prophet of doom chanting the end times. Skeletal warriors in the streets, banging down doors, dragging the innocent out. So here we go, Grift burns. He's finally going to reclaim what's his. Grift is burning, buildings are crumbling under the giant skeletal fists, and people are screaming as the undead horde rages in the city streets. Setup and treasure for this scenario: place at least 4 houses outside the deployment zone and monster spawn zones. They should each be solid and at least 3 inches from each other. Place a prophet of doom at the exact center of the table, and place 4 skeletons, because we're playing solo mode, sorry, 3 skeletons in the prophet of doom and no peasants. We gain the victory reward if at least 4 warband members, excluding useless mouths and pets, are standing at the end of the game. So, deployment, we basically deploy within 6 inches of this table edge, and then the game ends on round 7. But, threats. At the beginning of every round, roll d20 plus d4 twice to determine the coordinates in inches of a point on the table that gets hit by giant skeletal fists. I'm going to roll 2d12, because it's just easier. If a model is touching that exact point, it immediately dies. All other models within 3 of it suffer d8 cruel damage. If a house is at that point, it gets destroyed, remove it from play. The player who won initiative replaces it with some ruins and a peasant within 2 inches, so if they get crushed, we get peasants on the table. All models within d6 of the rubble, including the peasant, take d6 damage from debris. Peasants only target undead models in this scenario. From round 3 onward, roll on the table on page 65. Deploy them in the monster spawn area after rolling for the giant's fists. So over here, the undead are going to pour in, and we're going to roll on this table to see what arrives every monster round. The skeletons are all skeletons, just 1 armor, 6 wounds, d6 damage, and they're skeletons. The prophet of doom is technically alive, as are the peasants who may arrive outside of the smashed building. 7 hit points, a cat of 9 tails for d2d4 armory, and if harvested I gain infamy. He's a lunatic. Every turn you roll d6, see what they do. So d4 damage, morale 6 hit points, and they don't grant any XP, but they will fight the skeletons with me. Make it to turn 7, we win. We have to have at least 4 people alive. So round 1, let's get to moving. One important thing, Mouseling is starving, so she starts with d4 less health. 2 less health. So normally she starts with 7, she's only going to have 5 at the beginning of the scenario because she didn't get fed. Alright, let's hit it. Time to go start killing some skeletons. We're going to start off with the boss. He's going to walk his 9. Actually, he could just go fight the prophet of doom because he can walk 9. He's going to walk over here and stab him. Time for this. Using his short sword, he has agility plus 5. That's going to hit for sure. D6 damage. 2 damage. I'll hit back on a 15. It does not, and that leaves it with 5 health remaining. Alright, well, start crushing. We need to spread out here. We don't want to be standing. Actually, it's either a really good idea or a really bad idea to stand together. We're going to start off by walking over here and fighting with Butters. Smash that skeleton, Butters. You do with an 18. Damage, a 7 plus will kill it. That's an 8, so just explodes the skeleton. Mouseling, you can head over here. You're not feeling great, but you still walk 7 inches. That means you can go stab this skeleton that's pounding on this doorway. You are strength 5, so it's going to be on a... well, that'll do it too. D10 damage with your sword. A 7, minus 1 is 6, just killing zombies left and right, or skeletons rather. Alright, get in the middle here, Godless. You are movement 4 again, because you lost an agility from your injury. So you move up here and fire your crossbow into that skeleton. But you might hurt it. Agility for crossbow, no presence, so plus 2. That's going to be a 12 as a hit, and then it's D6 damage, but cruel. You do 2. But with 4, you've got 2 shots left. And then Nazal is just gonna move into the middle here and try desperately not to die. It's the beginning of every round the fists land. The first one, 13 by up by 14 over. 13 up by 14 over. And right there, and everything within 3 inches of it takes damage. Just that skeleton, D8 cruel, 7 cruel, so it was just dead. So I didn't take that shot. Second one, that's gonna be 8 up by 16 over. She landed right there, and that means that that skeleton took D8. It took 1, so it would have still been standing there when I went to kill it with Mousling. But everyone was standing back here, so they didn't take any damage. Monster phase, starting with the Prophet of Doom, hitting on 12 against our boy. He does 2d4 damage. I'm just gonna roll d8s because they're easy to pick up and have them. That's 3 plus 4 is 7 damage, armor 2. So he takes 5, he's only got 2 left. Oh no, Aura! I kind of, oh, actually first we roll d6 to see what he does. If he attacked, that was what happened. D6 is a 5. Purification of the flesh. When dealing damage, the prophet may reroll 1 of each dice showing a 1. Keep the next roll. He didn't roll any 1s. So, yeah, just damage. Get him back, Aura. Hits. And that's D6 damage minus any armor he has. 6 damage. Does he have armor? He does not. He is just toast. And near killed Aura. Uh-oh. The last skeleton, because they've all been exploded, goes 9. And comes flying, I think, into Aura. You just have to get within 1 inch for combat here. Yeah, that's not quite gonna... Oh, so that's an 8-inch cage, so yes, that will definitely do it. It's on a 12. Nope. Aura can hit back at agility plus 5, so it's on a 10 to hit. 19 will do it. D6 minus 1 damage. 4 damage. It's down to 2. Alright, well, we've dealt with the first wave of bad guys, but round 2, the Giant's Fists land again. So the first one, up and then over. Up 17, over 14. That's gonna land right on this building and explode it. The thing is leveled and he comes flying out, taking D6 damage. 3 damage, which will leave him with 3 left because he's not wearing any armor. Second fist, up 8, over 6. I think that's just gonna blow up this one over here. 8 by 6. Yeah, it's gonna blow up the smithy. Collapses the hell out of it, and this guy comes piling out, being like, what the hell happened? And he takes D6 damage, 3, so he's gonna have 3 left too. Alright, well, we survived the second round, but 2 of the buildings are now blown up. You can search buildings, which we are gonna try and do now for treasure, as long as there's no bad guys next to them. And so we're gonna have Nizala start, actually, sorry, we're gonna have Mousling walk over here first, because her fur coat smells so bad it's minus presence, and stab this skeleton at plus 5. We sure do. D10 damage with the bastard sword. Yeah, that's a unskeleton. And that means Nizala can walk over here and search for treasure. Actually, no, not Nizala. You get 2 treasure rolls and you pick both. Presence test, we're just going to use the auto pass a test omen to do it. And that means we get 2 treasure rolls. So 2d20, an 18 and a 1. Gold, and we get a random relic. Cool relic could this be? 6. That's going to be... The Bow of Lies never misses. Bear doesn't need to roll to hit and auto hits. 4 damage ranged. Oh man, he's got the Bow of Lies. Nizala can walk over here and check this one out. Treasure check. Runs it and gets a 8. What's an 8 on the treasure table? That's gonna be... That's not gonna be anything because that's not an intact building. That one's destroyed. So we can go 6 to here. And then 6 again to this one. We can check it out next turn, maybe. Doesn't someone attack us, so we're just going to stand right together and hope for the best. Same with everybody else. And the monsters don't activate because they're not actually monsters. Alright, so we got to roll to see what arrives. What terrible thing's going to arrive. It's a d20 roll. It's a 1. That can't be that bad, right? It's just in solo d8 zombies. Oh, God. Alright, it's 3 zombies. And they come shuffling in over here automatically. Well, I think we now reload and fire our Bow of Lies over here. Actually, we're using a different weapon, because... Yeah, so we have to take an action to swap it out. It'll start loaded then, and we'll fire over here. Although I don't think bows actually have reload. We do need the action to swap it for the crossbow. It's just going to auto-hit for D4 damage. Or sorry, 4 damage. So they just take 3 and have 3 left. Because armor 1. Search that building. Oh no, started the round, the Monster Fists. Whoopsie. So before that bow shot happened, first Monster Fist is up 11 over 9. Lands right there, so it's going to splatter next to Butters for D6 Cruel. So 4, he's armor 2. He'll take 2 damage and have 9 left. Not great. Second one up 12 over 18. Right there, do nothing. Now Nazal can check that out. And we needed a better roll. Oh no, it's a presence test, so we do because we're presence +1. 20 roll on the treasure table on 6 more golds. We found 5 gold so far. They've all been searched. I'm just gonna wait for these zombies where I am. So this peasant is gonna run 7 towards a zombie. This peasant, whoops, is going to go 11 towards a zombie. I'm not saying let them fight, but let them fight. And on come the zombies. They only go 2d4. So again, rolling d8s because they're just easier to pick up. So that's going to be 4 plus 1 is 5. So going to there. Fighting on a 12 against that peasant. Hits 6 damage. Kills him. Uh-oh. This one goes 1 plus 3 is 4. So just heads over to here. And the last one, 3 plus 4 is 7. It's going to make it to him. And then fight. On a 12. Cranks it. D6 damage. He's dead too. The zombies eat the peasants. Alright, we're in round 4. And the monster fists come raining down. Monster fist the first. Goes 11 up. And 17 over. Directly on this zombie's head. And it's going to hit both the other zombies. So this wounded one takes 1 damage. The other one takes 2 damage. So he's going to have 2 left. And he's going to have 4 left. And it doesn't hit anybody else. Giants. Alright, well, the second one goes 6 and then 23. So it's going to go 6 up and then 23 over is right here. And it's going to collapse this wall and not do anything else. What arrives? D12 for the next monster wave. A 10. That's going to be, oh sorry, it's a D20, not D12. It's a 17. Also bad. 17 is an executioner. D2 executioners. Ooh. So 1 to 4. No, it's a 1 to 4. So 1 executioner arrives over here. The one we didn't kill when we had to fight all the elites. Well, let's just start with Godless. He's going to reload. Although I don't actually think he has to. And he's just going to plug this guy and kill him because it auto hits. Solid's just going to move back into the corner. Moving. Because we can't get hit in the corner except for blast damage. I'm going to do the exact same thing, walking 9. And then walking 9 again with Aura. Butters is going to stand next to Mouseling, and they're going to hold the middle. Right, here come the baddies, turn 4. So that zombie goes 3 plus 1 is 4 inches. And just stumbles forward. Brains. And then that executioner, these guys are super dangerous, goes 7. And doesn't quite make it. Heads over to here. Turn 5. Alright, giant undead fists rain down again. The first one is going to be 16. So 16 up by 17 over. It's right on the corner of this tower. And it's also going to hit this zombie. D6 cruel. Once, it's just 1 damage. Takes down to 3. It's just getting obliterated. And then the second one is going to be 15 by 17. So it's literally almost the same place, except now it's on this zombie. An inch closer to the zombie, basically. So it takes blast damage again. And takes 3 this time and dies. And skeletons, you're the best. Well, let's go with Godless. He's just going to reload and fire another arrow into that zombie. It's armor 3, though, so it only takes 1 damage. But it'll have 6 left. Alright, go get him, Mouseling. Just walk within an inch. Stab with your sword. Hit it plus 5, so it's on a... not 1. I'll use my reroll, thank you very much. That's better. And then I'm going to use my max damage ability to do 10 minus 3 is still 7 and just kill him. So that's my max damage omen used. My reroll used. And I've used my skill test. So all I've left is pass death saves. And then Butters is just going to hold the middle. And it's turn 6. Alright, D20 to see what bad guys show up. 18. This can't be good. 18 is going to be a bannerman. Just 1. It's the Herald of the King. This isn't great. Well, let's just try not to die. Turn 6. Let's shoot him. So armor 1. He makes everybody super dangerous. So he's going to take 3 damage and have 3 left. Just line up in the middle here next to the statue and let them come to us. Everybody else is happy where they are. Actually, Godless, you want to... Well, you reloaded in shot, so you can't do anything else. You're just going to stand there, which means you guys need to get a little bit closer. Like that. Make sure this skeleton comes to fight you. 7 inches it will. It's gonna go fight Butters. Just a skeleton, but All models, if he dies after this, roll additional die and take highest damage when dealing with the model that kills them. So it's 2 dice pick the highest when fighting Butters now at the end of this. Does he hit? He doesn't with a 10. Does Butters hit back on a 10? Oh, he just critically damages him and explodes him with his Morningstar. This is it, turn 7, final turn of the game. Who shows up? The last wave. Oh no, we forgot to roll for the skeleton fists when the guy showed up. 18 by 22, so like here. Second one was 10 by 11, so 10 is about there, by 11 is about there, so it hit nothing. Turn 7, we rolled to see who comes in. I think I rolled a 5, but I'm gonna roll again. Roll 17. It's another executioner, another big guy. Shows up on the table edge. The wall is like completely leveled, you can see here, from the fists. And it's just Mouseling and Butters holding the line. Giant fists, come on, don't land on us. 7, ooh, by 7. So 7 up by 7 over, it just takes a big chunk into this building again. Second one is going to be 11 by 13. So that will be 11 up is here, and then 13 is just over this line. So here it's going to hit Mouseling at -4, but cruel. So 1 damage. So she goes down to 4. All we gotta do is survive the end of the turn, so we're just gonna take a shot with our bow, reload again. It'll take 1 damage and have 6 left. Just to soften it up with our Bow of Lies. And then we'll just wait and see if it gets to us. 6 inches will do it. Goes flying into Butters. Swing with his Executioner's Axe. Does he hit? Nope. And then Butters hitting back on a 10 because he's so strong. Does. For D8 damage cruel at -3 though, so you can't actually kill it. It didn't matter, even with the 8. -3 is going to be 5. It's going to have 1 left. That's the end of round 7. We survived the giant fists and the onslaught, but the table itself is damn near leveled. I assume on round 8 we just shoot this guy with the Bow of Lies and he dies. All right, good job, folks. Do you need to eat? So the Warband gains 2 meals to their equipment stash, plus the 2 we get for winning, and a wretched noble thinks that sticking around you be good, and arrives and is recruited for free, unless we're infamous. So we get this wretched noble. He just shows up and goes, well, fancy meeting you guys here. Let's stay alive. Death saves required to be passed, but the wretched noble's not eating. Or I don't think he has to eat actually in his first game, because he just gets recruited for free after the feed step. And then we're gonna have enough food to feed everybody except Butters this time. So he's gonna have D4 less health in the beginning of the game. We got D6 plus 4 gold plus the 5 we found, so 7 plus 12. And boy howdy do we kill some people. We got 4 skeletons, 7 for the zombies, 8 for the Prophet of Doom, 9 for the Executioner, 10 for the Bannerman. Plus we survived for 11, plus we actually we didn't pass any death saves, so we just survived for 11. So that puts us at 12 in the bank, so 2 advances. Increase Godless's strength to +2 and Aura's toughness to 0, which means that he no longer is as weak as he was. He's got 8 health now instead of 7. I don't think we can trade in between rounds here because things are going horribly wrong and the undead are now marching in the streets. Walls and castle are only as good as the people defending them, and the heretical citizens of Grift were goblin shit at doing that. We heard a booming sound, and then the dead giants were climbing their way from the chasms of Mirror towards the wall. It all happened so quickly, and now everything is burning. We fought tooth and nail to get into the city, and now we'll have to fight even harder to escape it. So we go at the end of Grift is burning, the city breached. We have to try and get out of it now. The undead horde has arrived with the Forgotten King, and we are desperately trying to get across the bridges to get away, and that'll be our final episode, episode 12 of Regicide, and it's the Bridges of Mirror. So we'll see you for that one in 2 weeks. Thanks again for watching. Until then, I'm Ash. Have a good night. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.